Ironside will not be seen tonight, so we may bring you the following special program.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time again for another Yeah Trek Watch. God, 2 weeks in a row, I believe, will be generally
whoa is right.
And that's shocking. But again, I think it shows that we're being honest and we hope for the best. And I don't know if we've gotten the best necessarily, but we've gotten at least the decent. John Suntress, Franco, Mitch Halleck. We're talking about a lot of things, but of course, we're talking about the latest episode of Strange New Worlds, which I called Uhura, named that tune. And, big deal with her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, I thought decent. My opening thought would be decent. Still have problems that I roll my eyes at, and also just continuity. But that said, it's 2 in a row where it's like, no, it was generally fun.
I like the episode a lot. Actually, yes, there were some issues with it, but what isn't there with anything? But what I thought of immediately was we know who Uhura is, but they showcased her immediately. Like second episode, they're showcasing other people other than the captain and the first mate and number one and the science officer, which I applaud. I think, yeah, that's how we get to know the entire crew. So I liked it.
Completely agree. Mitch, what do you think?
I liked it a lot. No, it's like it's actually giving me a reason to get up early on Thursday morning. I go, hey, new Star Trek's on. I haven't been that excited since like the Mandalorian was on every week. And I go, ooh, Mandalorian's on. Because I used to dread those other Star Treks. I can't watch this. So
truly and I'm sure it will be a small part of the conversation as well moving forward. But good Lord, we got Obi-Wan coming up at the end of the month. We got Orville coming up the first Thursday or Friday of June. There's like a lot of good stuff like coming up TV wise that I'm relieved.
Kids in the Hall.
Kids, I haven't watched yet. I know. I'm so excited. I love those.
So excited because Dave Foley's coming to Terrificon.
Hey, congratulations! That's fantastic. Wow.
I was waiting for New Kids in the Hall to start to announce him, so I did it today.
Oh my God!
Is he going to be naked?
Oh.
He could. He'll be autographing those at the show.
Yeah.
And if you like the Orville. There's more Orville people coming to Terrificon.
Nice. Who do you have already? You have Adrian Palicki?
I got Adrian Palicki. I got Peter Macon. But there's 3 more coming. Oh, 3 more.
Peter Macon is Bortus, everybody, if you don't know him by name.
Yes, he is Bortus.
And of course, Adrian Palicki, the
Kelly.
first officer.
Well, announce it now, Mitch. Tell him you got Seth MacFarlane coming. Tell him you got Seth MacFarlane.
Okay. Yeah. Wouldn't that be a kicker? He is from Connecticut.
The Wheeze, and by the way, Wheeze, I love your Porkins avatar. Always good to see Porkins. our favorite one movie, Star Wars X-wing fighter. Porkins.
Eject. No, I can handle it.
Porkins.
Eject. No.
Porkins is like Chubby on the original Little Rascals, and I know that's an ancient reference, but
Chubsy Ubsy. Yeah.
Yes, or Chunk.
Or the
party after school,
or the fat FBI guy in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Hey, wait a minute. It's the same guy.
But I'm with the Wheeze in terms of, pardon me, let me get the Wheeze back up here. Great episode. The Uhura singing brought me back to the original series in Star Trek V. Now,
yes, it did.
I agree. And again, from a broad stroke standpoint, I got no problem with the way they got Uhura Regarding the singing right away, the only thing I didn't like was, and again, I would say this more about this episode versus the first episode, where I was okay with the simplicity of the problem. It was a first contact problem still. It was interesting enough. The comet, again, little simple. And frankly, though, I didn't believe that Uhura could decipher an alien language in less than an hour. Because, and it's so funny. The interesting thing is when they do things on especially Strange New Worlds, it compels me literally to go back and watch original series episodes and go, well, wait a minute. Like when they introduced the idea of the Gorn, I'm like, no, that doesn't jive with the original series where they were still a mystery race. And in regards to Uhura being able to solve this so quickly, it reminded me of classic Trek. You guys remember? God, now I'm going to screw up was it Paradise Syndrome? The one where Kirk falls into the obelisk.
Oh yeah. I am Kira.
He's an American. Yeah, Kira.
Yeah.
I'm an American. I'm a Native American. And now in that case, it was musical notes as well on the obelisk, and Spock had to decipher them, but it took him weeks.
Yeah.
And they were like backing up, following this asteroid and making sure that it would not, get destroyed and destroy that whole population. But it took him weeks. And I wish they would have gone back to the ship and really studied this. And then Uhura could bounce in and go, hey, I figured it out. But for her to do it so quickly, it's like, come on. And again, it's a little nitpick. It's a little nitpick. But,
well, she didn't really figure it out. It came out on accident because she was humming and
yeah. But again, that's fine.
Oh, you mean when they came back to the ship and she did her scans and research and stuff?
Well, but
I would have thought Spock would have figured it out
to the point where they could communicate with it. It's one thing to recognize their musical notes. It's another thing to.
Well, they only had an hour, Johnny.
So. Well, again, I get it, but so did the original series. But at least from a story standpoint, it took longer than 10 minutes. And again, it's the way they chose to write it. It's fine. I just don't believe, like when they do shit like that, that's overly simplistic to me.
Yeah, well, I was going to say my only pet peeve was having Sam Kirk get zapped and have a heart attack because he's not going to die there, so it kind of takes a little bit of the.
Well, it goes to establish that he's not the smarter brother. That's all. So, yeah,
but
well, that's the other thing. To have, I didn't mind the surprise. There he is.
Yeah.
It's
nice stash though.
Absolutely. Well, and of course, again, him being unconscious and stretched out like this is the callback to us, Operation Annihilate, when we do first and only see him in the original series, and he's dead, Jim.
Yeah.
But I that's another thing that it's like, okay, Teehee, whatever. I do think the name Kirk means way too much to older fans and I would assume younger fans as well. And it's like, I just think the placement of this episode, like right after it's like, hey, big surprise at the end of the first episode. Here's Sam Kirk. Great. Tell us about Sam Kirk. No, we're not going to do it. We'll show you.
That's what I'm hoping they'll do. Cause they did for Uhura, and they forgive me. I'm horrible with names, but I think I will be learning the names of this cast faster than I did on Discovery.
Sure.
The Andorian guy.
Oh,
they had a little moment with him and set him up and what he does. I mean, these are the little things that they've been doing on this show that they really didn't do on Discovery at all. So yeah, maybe I can't remember his name, but I do know a little bit more about him, and maybe that'll happen with Kirk too. Like we'll get his backstory.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I just think again, having like snuck him in the way they did in the pilot, it's like, well, okay. I think there's an expectation, and it's like they're like with a dog, you're holding the treat up. Wait. And it's like, hey, come on, man, don't do that.
Yeah, I think that's being a little too picayune, but
all right.
Yeah.
Do you think they're not going to do a lot of character developments towards Spock because we already know who he is? I mean, we've had 50 years of Mr. Spock. We don't need to see
Do you
him.
think they're going to do
Well,
less?
if they're-
Are they going to spotlight him at all because he was laughing? Yeah, they were like, "Oh, Spock's laughing." Oh, yes,
Sure
it
they
was amusing. Yeah, but we know Spock more than anybody else on that whole crew. So why would you spend a lot?
But also,
of time?
again, I'm going to take the opposing viewpoint here.
Mm.
In the original the Cage episode or the original pilot, he
Yeah.
was not the Spock that he was in
Right.
on
Star
Kirk's ship.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, I'm assuming and hoping that he won't be the same because he will grow into that.
Mm.
So that's what I'm thinking. Anyway.
Yeah, and also again, I think, and forgive me, everybody, but this is my skepticism still with this group writing new Star Trek. Everything is an attempt to cleanse whatever misdeeds they perceive from the original run. And I don't think there's anything wrong with Spock, but I do think Spock's sister and other, and even again, this like doubling down on no, the Cage is canon, and Spock, and there are season 1 original series episodes where you do see Spock smiling. He's smiling at Uhura when she's singing in the Charlie X episode, and he's playing his Vulcan harp, and
he's playing chess. He was smiling when they were playing chess.
Right,
once.
right, and that's the first Kirk pilot. You're right, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing, and they were, and again, us older fans are like, no, they were figuring out the character, but it is Akiva Goldsmith and or Goldman. I always do that, and Chabon and Kurtzman's like mission to like, no, Spock was different when he was younger, and obviously they see that as a story opportunity. So no, and also,
but I don't disagree with them, and I'm kind of hoping that they actually do that because I want to see it. Yes, but I do want to see a different Spock than what I know a little bit.
Right. I'm kind of with Mitch. Or like there's not. There was
that's because you guys are older.
yeah, I know.
Because and in the same breath too. I mean, you got Captain Pike. We know he's going to die, and he's obsessing about it.
We don't know.
I'm like, are they going to do that every week, or that's just because it's the first 2 episodes where he's going to have a couple minutes? Like, oh, by the way, I know in 10 years I'm going to die.
Oh yeah, no, that's
these people. It's going to be like, okay, enough already. Get some Prozac, will you?
Well,
see, Mario just said about Spock's hair. He brought up that comment about Spock's hair. He loves Spock's hair. I did notice that it was longer. So he's a hippie. He's younger and he's a hippier.
It's wild. It's wild.
Because that triangle was a tad long.
It was almost going to be a mustache. I was like, it's going to be like
by the end of the first season, it'll curl up into a handlebar.
Salvador Spock.
Hilarious. All right, people are talking, and I want to give them a chance to. I love to spout off here because we've already thrown out some things. Langley points out that, and I know it's like the Remans and the Romulans. I still am calling him an Andorian, even though he, much like the Remans, I guess these are Andorians that were raised on the dark side of Andoria or whatever it's called. And that's why they're blind, but their other senses, of course, are
so
heightened.
What's Hemmer? That's their name?
Hemmer is his name.
Oh.
And Bingo was his name-o. Yeah, he's MC Hemmer, actually.
MC Hemmer.
We should call it like
now I'll remember it.
crystal balls and stuff.
Now
Yeah, that's our
remember
nickname for him, MC Hemmer.
I called crystal balls when I was talking to somebody today. They go, "What?" They go, "You mean Rios?" I go, "Oh yeah, that's the guy."
Terrible. It's too easy. Crystal balls.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay here in the 21st century. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, "What do you call him?" I'm like, "Oh, sorry."
I caught up on my ready rooms of the final Picard weeks. And God, just the level of bullshit that was just being served by both Wheaton and the cast members that he was interviewing, and Akiva Goldman as well. It's just like, whatever, man. Fine. Whatever. Good Lord. Let's continue. Wait a minute. Louise says it felt so old school, especially with the ending. Was it Spock? Was
Prophecy?
Yeah.
Was this prophecy? I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I mean, that's fine. And also, yeah, I know it's going to be a recurring thing, I think, with Pike still stewing over seeing himself in the chair.
Yeah.
Here.
I went back and watched those episodes just to see it again. His hair was a little bit calmer on that.
On Discovery?
Discovery, yeah. It wasn't that crazy pompadour that he's got going on now. Yeah.
And also, I don't think we talked about this last week, but I was watching Anson Mount being interviewed, And he said when he was first auditioning, they kind of held back that it was Pike, and that it was that he was going to be a character called Captain Parker. So his audition was more subdued because he just thought, okay, I'm going to be a Starfleet captain. Who cares? And then when he got the gig, they're like, by the way, it's really Christopher Pike, and he's an old school fan. And he's like, well, wait a minute, and that's why he felt his performance in even that season 2 of Discovery was more different than what he did in the audition. And I had heard rumors, and I don't know if watchers or you guys have heard these same rumors, but I had heard that initially the Discovery people weren't happy with his performance during that season, and it wasn't until the fans were like, we like this, we want more of this. Yeah. They're like, okay. I mean, I don't know. Goldman says he was developing a Pike series or thinking about it since day one, even before Discovery aired, that he wanted to do a Pike series. But I do love, I mean, again, we spoke and they listened and we got a great captain out of it. So I think that's cool. B things, again, I just want to go through some of these comments. What bothers me since the 2009 movie, they keep making Uhura feel more like Hoshi Sato in Enterprise with the super fast language learning. Yeah, I hear you. I don't disagree. Again, it's okay, but here Louise says Paramount is lucky that they landed Anson Mount. He has a knack to make the actors around him better. He made Discovery so much better. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he did.
Well, and then again, I want to hear what you guys think.
He was the only redeeming thing for Discovery for me out of all the seasons. Yep,
I agree.
Yep.
I like the dinner in his quarters because I always loved those in Deep Space Nine when Sisko would do that, and I think that's cool. What I didn't like, and again, not to pick on the woman, and it's not her fault; it's the dialogue they give her, Uhura.
Yeah.
It's a party, and I understand they set it up, and they said, she's kind of awkward with people and stuff. But hi, nice to meet you. Hey, tell us a little story about yourself. Well, my parents died in a shuttle accident. It's like, no, I'm sorry. No, not in a big group. If she had that conversation with Spock, if she had that conversation with Ortegas or Khan or number one-on-one, I'm okay with that. I'm not really okay with that, but it makes more sense. But hi, I'm here at a party. Let me tell you about my dead parents and how they died. It's
Who invited Debbie Downer to the party?
Yeah, exactly.
But again, maybe because I'm liking this show, I'm liking this show more than Discovery.
Yeah,
I'm going to defend it, and they did go out of their way to explain that sometimes, like, she gets in these situations and she doesn't know when to shut up, and she doesn't know what to bring up. So they did kind of couch it a little bit. So I'm going to give them a pass on this, mainly because I'm liking the show.
I get it.
So,
and that's fine. And again, I'm liking it too. I am looking forward to Thursdays again, and it's nice to have a Star Trek show that, again, 2 in a row. It's like, no, they're doing a great job. Now, it's funny. My buddy Scott Larson was like, well, it's just out of the box and everything, so cut them some slack. I'm like, no, they've been doing this for 6 years. They better figure out by now how much more. I mean, 6 years. It has been since 2016. So it's like, no, I'm sorry. I don't give them a pass. It's like, figure out what you're doing, idiots. And I'm glad they're doing it well. But again, it's like, I'm still like, let's go episode by episode and see how it goes. But yeah, that just rubbed me the wrong way. And again, they do it on every show. Everybody has to have a tragedy in their background. Everybody. And I'm like, that's not, can anyone be happy to be? Thankfully, Ortega seems to be happy to be in Starfleet. I just, again, it's like, whatever. I didn't even have a problem with her not sure if she wanted to be in Starfleet or not. That's okay. That's fine.
No, again, number one seems to love it because she's always up for an adventure, and Captain Pike is like, I love this job.
Yeah.
So he obviously likes it.
Yeah. That's fine.
And Spock said to Uhura that we're all here. Get out of the way for someone who wants to be here.
Yeah,
so they all want to be there.
Yeah.
Well, Langley's like, as someone who recently had lost their family, I'm sorry to hear that, Langley. If asked in a group that I would volunteer that info. Yeah, but they didn't say tell us about or maybe they did. Maybe they said tell us about your parents. But I just don't believe in hey, I'm new to the group. I want to be part of the group. I'm going to start off with a death story. I just don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Again,
I disagree with you.
tragedy in my high school years with my father passing and my stepmother basically kicking me and my sister out of the house. And it's funny, everybody you guys know and people who follow me know I just got honored by my old college at Illinois State.
Congratulations.
And I told a lot of my friends, I'm like, you guys are really important to me because I was still going through losing my father and also just the weirdness with my stepmother kicking my sister out and me following suit. And they're like, we never knew that. Of course not. Because I'm not going to say, how do you do? I'm Debbie Downer, Yeah, I mean, Rich, you nailed it, absolutely, man.
Yeah, but again, everybody's different, and everybody handles things in their own way, and they did kind of couch it, and kind of set it up. I think
if Johnny looked good in a red mini skirt with black hip leather boots, we'd listen to whatever he had to say.
Yeah, whatever.
That's all I'm saying. Because they already hinted at Uhura's future dress in the show. When she was walking, she had the skirt on. I was like, hey, look. She's going to bring that mini skirt into fashion eventually on the...
I would be stunned if we see anybody in original series.
I thought they did for a brief moment. I was like, is she wearing an
Whatever.
early prototype of that outfit? Oh.
Are they going to bring back the next generation male skirt?
Oh, skirts? Yeah. I remember that outfit. Yeah.
Weren't those the dress uniforms?
The dress uniforms, yeah.
Yeah.
They had that came down to the knees and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to bring back the ball hugging long johns from the motion picture. When you'd see Captain Will Decker's pee-pee when they were so tight. You don't remember that?
Decker's pee-pee.
Amen.
Nice.
That's right. That's right, Langley.
That's one of the sex clubs.
Hey, I saw
Decker's
Spock
pee-pee.
with no shirt on. Why not?
Yeah.
Turn me
Well,
on.
and back in the day, we saw Nimoy bare-chested.
That's right.
I love. And all right, and now you think I do nitpicks? Burnett killed me on his show because he's like, the Vulcans are hardy people because of their atmosphere, and that's why they're stronger than humans. So, as I point to myself as a human example, yeah, good. But anyway, he's like, so
you're living in another galaxy.
I know.
They're naturally hairy-chested and everything.
Yeah.
And he said, so that's why he didn't like smooth Ethan Peck Spock. And I was dying. I'm like, dude, that is like, you got your tweezers out with your nitpicks. Good Lord. But okay, whatever.
He's a Sicilian Vulcan. You got a problem with that? By the way, did you know, I found out this weekend, Ethan Peck is grandson of who? Gregory Peck?
Gregory Peck, yep.
I was like, holy shit.
I'm sorry, buddy. That was common knowledge from the moment I asked him.
Common knowledge if you give a fuck, but
wow.
I don't give a fuck.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, John.
Wow.
Oh,
no, I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry, buddy. That's like
John, insurrection, January 6th, not January 9th.
Exactly. Believe me,
a little bit more important than somebody who's fucked someone's grandmother.
Newsflash, William Shatner, Canadian. I don't know if you knew that.
Jewish too, John. You want to go down the whole thing?
Yes, I knew that too. You're right.
I used to, a little side note, I used to call Gregory Peck Gregory Peckery.
Yeah, thank you.
No, he's, again,
fight. That's right, nerd fight.
I love the grandfather, and so far it seems like we're getting a better Spock than we got in the short trek, and that we got, in that stupid second season of Discovery. I like science. Yeah, okay, that's great, Spock. Fantastic. And honestly, that's why when Pike whispers to number one, I love this job, kind of felt like that. It's like, all right, dude, you can show you have a good time. You don't have to broadcast it. It's all right.
Yeah, but he was having a good time throughout the episode.
Whatever, Frank.
You're like
you're a Trek apologist, and Mitch is.
I am not a Trek apologist. If you've heard any of the other podcasts that we've done about any of the other shows, no. I am not a Trek apologist.
I get crazy.
I liked Pike in this. He's like hip happening. He's like
Fonzie.
Yeah,
he's in space. He's got the hair.
Yeah.
Oh. I want to see him go to the bathroom with a comb and go,
we got to give him a Starfleet leather jacket or something, Hey, and a jukebox on the bridge,
No. The comm system goes down and he hits it and it goes back up.
Stuart said something earlier, and I agree with you, Stuart, and that is a fireplace on a starship. What could go wrong?
It's not a real fireplace.
No, it's a hologram.
Well, exactly. Mitch, that's honestly that. I'm like, Well, I'm sure if you ask the producers, it's like they just want the aesthetic of the fireplace. Of course, it's not an open flame. I'm sure it's a hologram.
It doesn't beat the fucking grand piano on Discovery that took up half an acre. Oh, by the way, we've got nothing to put here, nothing valuable like crew quarters, so they're not sleeping on top of proton torpedoes. But we'll put a baby grand piano over here. So.
You know, when that ship gets hit and everybody goes like sideways, who got killed by that piano?
Like in Superman Returns, they shove the piano at the guy. Yeah.
Like, man, we're doing good comments here, man.
And you know the guy.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Let me finish. Weez, and then I'll go to you. He's like, it seems, because honestly, I feel bad. We're getting really good comments, and we got a nice sized audience. It seems like tragedy drives character development in today's writing. Do we all have something that happened to in our lives? Probably, but it doesn't always define us. And I'll talk about that after Francis makes his point.
No, I was just going to make another joke about having a piano tuner on the ship.
But I understand that it's a weird time, and that's informing their writing, and they want to reflect that weird time in these shows. But again, Star Trek is escapism, or at least it used to be. And good Lord, Gene Roddenberry and company, and Gene Kuhn and all the great writers were writing that stuff when there was fire in the streets and riots and death and all these other terrible things. And it was, don't worry, we know it's tough. It's going to get better. And that was always the message every week of, there will come a time when we get past all this bullshit. And and again, I just wish there was more of that. Strange New World is nodding in that direction. But as others have said, they can't help themselves. They got to get into everybody's traumatic drama.
Yeah, they got to fill 45 minutes. What are you going to do?
So, now Wayne, I don't know if you're being silly. I think you are. He says he lost his parents after showing of Zorro the gameplay.
Yes.
Terrible.
He's terrible. Like, well, that's where he gets his Bruce Wayne. He's changed his name.
He's Bruce Wayne Musso, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Langley, I want to see the piano
slipping in the
background. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that was the joke I was going to make. After every attack on something, the piano tuner, he's up. Come on, Bill.
Cut to the piano. Oh, is he like Mr. Mott? He's like, they got a piano tuner on board the ship.
Because it's new Trek and sensitive everything. The piano tuner is deaf.
Oh, terrible!
That's so heavy.
How
it would
ironic.
Be ironic, isn't it?
I do like that Hemmer is blind in the sense. First of all, it's great that they actually hired a blind actor to play a blind character.
Oh, is that true?
But, yeah. Oh, absolutely. The guy who plays Hemmer is actually legally blind. But Andorians have antenna.
Yeah.
So obviously that is another sense that they have.
Yeah.
Beyond the other 5 that we have and everything, and it's like. No, that makes sense.
That's so he can go through the doors without getting his head cut off like
exactly. Well, no, and he gets better cable reception than
exactly.
So I don't know what your problem is. It's coming in clear.
I knew about them, but I don't know that we've ever really seen them before. I can't remember.
No,
but
Andorians?
Well, no, the ones from the
like the Remans and the Romulans and how that was made such a big distinction.
Right.
I'll leave it to the chat. Do you guys know when we heard about this subdivision of the there you go. Langley said it, and I had forgotten as well. I completely forgot about they're called the Anar from Enterprise.
Okay. Yeah, so I had forgotten about them, but the visual is kind of cool because you're used to seeing them blue.
Yeah.
And the visual when I first saw them in the coming attractions, I'm like, "Oh, what happened?"
He's pale, isn't he? He's more
It's an albino one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wait till you see the Mugatu this year. He's going to be blue.
Wow. Yeah. One can only hope.
Mugatu.
We says I would love to see the piano burst through the turbo lift. And Wayne says the piano tuner is a hologram of Beethoven.
Remember when Pike had that flashback in the old show when he was on that castle with that? Yeah. Remember she was like a fairy princess and they had the big guy? Yeah. Maybe they can flash back to that episode because that was like, what the fuck was that always about? I never liked that one. It's
sitting there if they want to pick it up and tell that story. Sure.
Yeah,
there's a little known fact. There's a grand piano in the tower when it goes up there. So, yeah.
They have a full cash bar in the turbo.
They do. That's for the original tent forward.
Any requests?
There's a piano bar. Yeah, I'll be here all week.
They're going
Try
to turn
the-
left suddenly, and that piano is going to go flying into Pike's quarters
Try
and
yeah.
and to spill the fire everywhere and start a fire, and it's going to be horrible. Horrible.
Try
We're gonna just like
try the
just like
gach.
in Star Trek Beyond, and they refer to the Beastie Boys as classical music. You're gonna have somebody playing the piano, and he's gonna have a brandy snifter and be like, "Here's an ancient classical piece from the Great Burt Bacharach," and he'll sing the Martini and Rossi jingle. Say yes.
Would they have to update it so that it'd be Michael Bublé or something like that?
Yes.
Is he a piano player? I was thinking
I don't
Bacharach wrote all the songs.
I don't know.
So
It's a
no,
Bublé.
Uhura's gonna channel Dionne Warwick and sing like "That's What Friends Are For." And Alfie and, yeah.
Wouldn't it be weird when they were doing all the sounds if it made the Close Encounters musical notes? At one point, I'm like,
Well-
watch it go. Bam, 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 bam.
And again, it's like, please, can you come
Come
up with
with an
something
original
original
idea. Yeah.
rather than steal another idea from
Yeah.
something? It's like, all right,
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
I think the song is "Who's Zooming Who" by Aretha Franklin.
Again with the Who's Zooming Who.
I'd like to sing "Freeway of Love" to the egg.
No.
Comment if possible. But yeah, like again, Sam Kirk. Hey, here's a little snarky thing. He's like, and one of my favorite.
He reminded me of Dan Aykroyd.
Okay, well, yeah, I can see that too.
The-
Nitpicking nerd, great YouTube, and just as it says, he will nitpick all the like. He's been hilarious during Picard, and he's like Strange New Worlds, but he can't help himself. And he said Sam Kirk looked like
Sam Rockwell.
in
Yeah.
Sam
Galaxy.
Rockwell. Yes. He
Yeah.
did.
And he's like, yeah, he's Guy Fligman. Hurry,
Yeah.
we got to
Yeah.
get out before these aliens kill Guy. You
So
know,
here's a
you know.
nitpicking is what do you call the cadets? Their little emblem has a little black square behind it. That's how they designate. Okay.
So it's got a
Okay.
symbol. It's
Yeah.
got a symbol in the thing too. I noticed.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I noticed that. They used to have like that curly circle was the science. No, science was the circle with the looked
Planet.
like a basketball. Yeah, that was the
Yeah, it
science.
looked like a planet to me. Yeah.
And the medical people had the little question mark thing, didn't they? They all had different. Command had the star in it, if I remember the old Star Trek back in the 70s.
Well, and also, if you really look closely at the original series,
Mm.
everyone didn't have not only the the shape of the regular
The-
Federation
Right, the
badge and
Delta.
stuff, like other, Captain Tracy had a big long rectangle kind of
Yeah,
badge on his shirt.
The star on one. Yeah.
Yep.
I remember
So
that.
yeah, and again, that's a classic Burnett nitpick of everyone didn't have the same insignia
Well,
on their badge.
the lore I remember is in honor of Kirk's historic 5-year mission. All of Starfleet adapted the little Delta arrowhead as part of their uniforms. That's what I remember. But that's
Okay.
fucked up.
All right. I mean, was the Enterprise the only deep space exploration ship? I don't think it was because, again, and I understand it was the Kirk pilot, but they get the Valiant's, ship black box and everything, and
They were smart enough to have a trademark lawyer on board, and he copyrighted it. And he said, "If you want to wear it, we get a check." And
All
that's
right,
how
fair
it
enough.
happened. Yeah.
Um,
They got to merchandise this shit, They had to sell it at Starfleet headquarters. Captain Decker had a pretzel. He did. Yeah.
Commodore Decker, yes.
Commodore Decker.
I wanted to bring up. We shared it with each other and Wayne on the Fox News article about Star Trek, and I did want to read that out loud because I didn't agree with everything they said, but I did agree with some things that they pointed out, and it was funny. Robert Hewitt Wolf, I believe, one of the old Next Gen and Deep Space Nine writers, really took the article to task, and it's like, yeah, listen, I'm an actual Star Trek writer. Go to hell, because the article basically accused Star Trek in general of being involved with woke politics. They brought up the Stacey Abrams cameo and everything as well. But yeah, I there's some of the stuff I do agree, and also it's like I just kind of feel like why piss off half your potential half your audience? It's okay to what I would say is, because you're right, Star Trek was always political, even in the 60s, But I also think that both the Republicans and Democrats were still, even within their own parties, there were conservative Democrats and there were liberal Republicans. So you really couldn't pin an argument on one side or the other. If anything, it would have been, and maybe it is still this way, obviously, North and South feelings about various political things. But that's the thing. It's like, well, slavery's wrong, and being rude to other races is wrong. And it's like, yeah, I think that's kind of universal. I genuinely believe that there are Republicans that are like, yeah, don't be a racist. That's being an ass. There are ones that don't, that disagree with that. And certainly we've seen examples of white supremacy and nationalism, unfortunately, coming from the right. But there are extreme leftist politics as well. And yeah, I don't know, man. I just think, unfortunately, I think the lines are much more defined than they were in the 60s. That's my POV.
It works for the Koms and the Yangs, or it works for nobody. Thank you.
Combs.
Thank you.
We, the people.
The people.
Man,
Please.
Don't you want Shatner to do like a book
Oh,
on
I
tape
love
of
that.
reading the Constitution?
Every 4th of July, I put that up on Facebook because it's great to hear a Canadian guy tell us all about America.
There you go, man.
These words written so boldly above all the rest. We, the people. In order to form more. That's how I learned history. Isn't that sad? That and fucking Schoolhouse Rock.
No, that's fine.
Fuck school.
Well,
fuck school, man.
No, but that's good, man. I mean, that's and
God,
again,
Catholic
like-
education. Fuck off.
Wow.
Star Trek, baby.
Langley
That's where
says.
I learned.
Langley says, honestly, though, the show has always been like this. I just think the current writers are just not as good as writing or seeding their ideas well. Agreed. And also, I think certainly in both the original series and the Rick Berman Star Trek era as well, I think they presented arguments on both sides. And I do believe we are getting polemics of, hey, this is wrong. And it's like, yeah, you're right. It is. But I think a lot of us agree. And also we didn't need the morals lesson that you're giving us right now. Because, I mean, really, especially like Star Trek, Next Generation, rather, that great great episode where the two aliens are like, hey, when you guys go past warp 2 in this sector of space, you are literally tearing the fabric of the cosmos.
Yeah.
That's a problem. And it's like, well, but we need to get to where we need to go. And it's like, yeah, but you're destroying the cosmos. This is a bad thing. And then even the solution was like kind of half-assed, where it's like, all right, we won't let you go past warp 4 in this area. And it's like, yeah, it's still hurting things. Well, it's hurting things less. And it's like, no, these are big problems that you can't expect us to. All right, we've cured racism. Let's move on.
It's a school zone, so if this is flashing, you have to drive 25 light years. And then after that, you can go to warp 10. That's it.
And like the Partridge Family bus, you got the sign, caution, dangerous captain driving, nervous captain driving.
Was that what it said on there?
It said caution, nervous mother driving. Yeah, on the Partridge Family bus. All right. I know, I'm still doing 50-year references.
I was going to say, I mean, now we're really going back.
We don't have enough time for Shatner to read anything.
Read everything. That's
we,
right.
the people.
You want to watch
Chip, we're having
something?
lunch. The bill's already come. You're still on your steak. Stop talking.
You want to watch something Shatner dated? Watch T.J. Hooker. Man, that show.
Oh, God.
Oof.
With that hair.
The hair and the dialogue and everything about it. It's like, it's so Shatner. And you're like, oof.
Jimmy Darren and Heather Locklear are a romantic couple. Sure they are. Sure they are.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Adrian Zemed.
Adrian
Zemed.
Zemed.
That's right.
Fresh from Solid Gold. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that TJ Hooker and Bachelor Party, the Tom Hanks movie. Way to go, Adrian. Great.
Hey,
Great
man.
My favorite TJ
will
Hooker.
not be a Terrificon this year.
My favorite TJ Hooker thing was when he was on Saturday Night Live and they did a skit about TJ Hooker, because at the end of every episode they would end on a freeze frame or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
So they did that on Saturday Night Live, and I think it was Dana Carvey. He was holding a cup of coffee. He was Adrian Zemed.
Yeah.
And William Shatner is pouring the coffee, and they come up and the credits come, and the coffee's still pouring and it's overflowing onto the cup.
It's Naked Gun.
Dana Carvey's like trying to hold the thing.
Yeah.
They used to do that on Naked Gun.
Naked Gun did that. Yeah. Police Squad.
Everyone would freeze, and then like somebody in the background would be, or some guy would notice everybody else is freezing, so he'd be like, "Oh," and then he'd freeze. That show, 6 episodes.
I know.
Genius.
Hysterical.
Yeah.
They cancel it, and it wins the Emmy.
I always
It's-
wanted
again,
to see the Belushi episode that they filmed just before he died, where he was dead in a pool.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that was the
Wow, I
last.
didn't see.
They always started with a dead cameo,
Right,
and Belushi filmed it like 5 days before he overdosed, and it was like tonight's special guest John Belushi, and he was floating dead in a pool. But they never aired it because of that. Oh well,
Wayne says Starfleet military police set up warp zone speed traps.
that's true. They do.
Want to step out of the
Speed
starship,
humps.
sir?
Speed hump.
See, now this is all great fodder for lower decks. Why can't
I
this be
know,
on lower
right?
decks? The
You know
piano,
what's so
the
sad?
speed zones, everything.
You know what's so sad? Johnny's got me so worried that now when I'm watching Strange New Worlds, I'm just waiting for it to suck. It's like it's out there. It's like Jaws. It's
Hey.
like just in the distance with the little fin.
Again, they kind of can't help themselves. Like, and I understand that it's okay for one of the away mission people to be
Yeah.
stretched out, but like Sam Kirk. But it's
Where's
like,
his
well, yeah, of
hands?
course, of course it's going to be Sam.
When's our first red shirt gonna die? Like somebody we never saw before. They just show up and they get turned into a little cube.
You know
and
that's
it's-
going to happen. You
that
know they're
is
going to do that.
crushed.
I hope they
They
do.
have to.
That's fine.
That's
That's
part
fine.
of Star Trek lore.
Well, they're certainly not afraid of killing off random people. Look at season 2 of Picard and all the collateral damage of all the dead people who apparently had nothing to do with the the time line being hurt in any way. All those new Borg and everything that were frozen in the
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the bulkhead. Yeah.
I
Don't
mean,
worry about
all of
those
that,
people.
everything they did like that. But yeah, they killed a ton of people
They did.
on Picard. Yes,
Don't step on any
I don't
butterflies.
I don't like domestic violence. However, it's all right to kill randos. I'm all right with that.
I wish my dad had a better lock on this door that my mother was trying to kill herself. But,
Don't you see, John Luke, putting back that key was the point of all. Well, why did you screw with us so much for 10 episodes to just have me put a key back in the wall? I don't have to explain everything.
Don't you understand how much money she got when the insurance policy paid off?
You know it's bad when they start killing characters off before the series even begins because the brother
Like
wasn't even there.
Right, Robert. I know.
Yeah.
What happened to Robert? Never mind, John.
I used
I
to
did have a
imagine
brother, I
that I
believe.
had a brother.
No, that was part of your
That was
delusion
Cybok.
of mom being old and
It-
having
oh!
kids.
That's going to be a new series, a new Star Trek
Robert and
series.
Cybok. They team up. Travelers
Robert and
through
Cybok,
time.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Generations 2.
The Star Trek
They're in the
that's
Nexus.
the Forgotten Trek.
It's going to be the next series coming
They're in the
next year.
Nexus.
Yeah, seriously, why
Fighting,
not?
fighting that alien through
I had a
Cybok in the
brother.
Nexus.
I had a
And
brother
yeah,
once.
Robert was in the fire and he wound up in the Nexus too.
And Sam Kirk.
One episode is all about Cybok talking about Uhura with feathers. It's going to be awesome.
Almost lost my lunch when I watched your dad do the feather dance back then.
Hey man, did you see some of those people on that planet
Oh yeah, they were hard
with
up.
those fucking air guns they had?
Yeah,
They
were
would have
hard
gone
up.
after
Or the
everything.
guy,
They were-
or the guy just digging holes in the desert. That's all I have.
yeah,
Hey, weren't you in the
Hey!
Hills Have Eyes?
he was on. He was Wyatt Earp on the OK Corral episode. That guy, the bald-headed guy
Really?
that finds Cybok in the beginning
Wow.
was on the. I don't know what kind of game you're playing. here,
Congratulations.
Doc-
I had no
Doc
idea.
Holliday.
Inspector of the Gun.
Yeah, that was one of them.
I had no
Imagine
idea.
that.
That's fantastic. I love that episode. That's a great episode.
Somebody offered me as a guest the other day, the guy that played Moriarty, who went on to The Nanny as the butler.
Great actor.
Giles or Styles or whatever.
Yeah, great actor.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Well, the funnier thing is, remember they trapped him at the end of the episode inside a little
the Cube.
the cube? And
Yeah.
then somebody said when they look down into the cube, you go to see him, and he's on The Nanny now. It's like, curse you!
I know. I saw that. And
Yeah.
it was, like, whatever the rich guy was just telling him to shut up.
Well,
and he's
I
the
don't
butler.
bring these people
He's
to
like,
the
"Damn
show
you, Picard."
because the guy has a long career, and you're going to just corner him on a panel like, so what was it like to be on Star Trek and play Moriarty?
Hey, he's fantastic in The Hunt for Red October. He's the
Who is
captain
he?
of the naval or of the aircraft carrier with Fred Thompson. He's the guy who's
Oh,
like, I don't like him
yeah.
wearing the uniform. He's like, didn't you notice his ring? That boy spent like 2 years in traction and he got shot up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's
Yeah.
great.
He
I'm a
was
big fan of
married to
that guy.
Kim
Fred-
Basinger. Anybody gets a battle
Yeah.
promotion for that.
Fred
shit.
Thompson was very confusing to me because he was he was a senator
Yeah.
and he was a full-time actor. And
Yeah.
I got very confused. For a long time, I thought they were twins, but then it turned out to be the same guy, and that kind of...
Well, and
It was
in
like-
the 70s, he was a Watergate lawyer.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
For Nixon, on the Nixon side. Yeah.
Ronald Reagan was in a movie with a monkey too.
It's true.
Who knew? Who knew?
Bonzo. Yes, I'd like you to meet my Secretary of the Interior. I worked with him in the 50s. Ladies and gentlemen, the chimpanzee Bonzo.
He's throwing his feces at you, and he's
Apparently.
masturbating.
When the Stacey Abrams President of Earth cameo, and she's a big fan, and people threw up the Reagan picture of him visiting the Next Generation set, and I guess it was post-presidency, and Patrick Stewart has written about it and said, that was a very weird experience.
Thought it was real.
Where am I?
Is this the
You know,
Star Wars?
on this very soundstage, I made Hellcats of the Navy.
Is this
Jane
where they're going to
Wyman
freeze
right
my
there.
head? Is this where they're going to cryogenically freeze my head?
I used to confuse Jane Wyatt with Jane Wyman because I'm like, one of them was Mr. Spock's mother.
Right.
And
The
one of
other
them
one
was
was
on
Ronald
Father
Reagan's
Knows
wife.
Best. Yeah.
Right. And yeah, Jane Wyman was Ronald Reagan's wife and on Falcon Crest back in
Falcon
That's
Crest.
Falcon
okay.
Crest, exactly.
There you go.
Yeah, Jane Wyatt. It's I love Jane Wyatt. She was great as Spock's mom. And it was so great that thankfully still alive and still a competent
Is
actress.
she still alive?
No. I'm not saying now. I'm saying when they made Voyage Home, Star Trek 4, and that how do you feel? Like she got to do that scene, and it's like that's awesome, man. Cool that she's still there, and she's still just like Mark Leonard playing Sarek all that time and stuff. It's like that's cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of Falcon Crest, did anybody else get confused back in the day when there was Heather Locklear, Heather
And
Thomas, and Lisa Hartman? Because she was on Falcon Crest, but you could always tell Lisa Hartman because she looked definitely different. But
She's a little
I
older,
was
too.
I was confused the two.
No,
Heather
I agree.
Locklear and Heather Thomas.
Heather Thomas, Fall Guy, Heather
Right.
Locklear,
Yes.
Dynasty, and T.J. Hooker.
T.J. Hooker, yeah.
And who was the other one?
Lisa Hartman, she was on
Lisa
Falcon
Hartman.
Crest.
Yeah, and she married. She married the
Clint-
country star.
Clint Black.
Yeah, Clint Black.
Oh,
that's right.
okay. Yeah. All right.
Decent singer too. Actually.
I used to get confused with Karen Allen, Brooke Adams, Margot Kidder, and
Maud
there was
Adams.
Another
Maud
one.
Adams.
They all look the same. It's like I need a girl that's a little husky with the voice and the dark hair. Bring me Karen Allen. She's busy. Get me Brooke Adams.
Get me
She's
Kathleen
busy.
Kennedy.
Get
Get
Margot
me
Kidder.
Deborah Winger.
Yeah,
They,
exactly.
they were like the interchangeable.
They were all
actresses of
brassy.
the day.
Yes.
That's
Great
like Dylan McDermott and what's the other guy's name? Dermot McRooney.
Dermot Mulroney.
We're getting way in the weeds here right now.
No, it's all good. I like it. I was going to say, Mitch, I don't know if he's on the East Coast. I assume he is.
Who?
Maybe he lives in L.A. You got to get, speaking of T.J. Hooker, you got to get James Darren. Vic Fontaine.
Oh,
I know
Yeah.
who he is.
Fontaine.
Well, I'm saying
I
for-
thought he made
if people don't know
sausages,
his name,
too.
Vic Fontaine. And also, God, I would imagine he would love to do not only a panel, but like an evening
Yes.
show of him singing. No, but
Well,
he's
I have a
decent
singer coming this year.
Who?
Madonna?
Well, you might know him as the blind detective, the man without fear, or
Rex-
the man
Rex-
who or the man who wrote Street Hawk, or the man from Pirates of Penzance. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the man who sang the song "You Take My Breath Away," #1 hit back in
That's true.
1979.
That's very
Rex
true.
Smith
Yeah.
is coming to Terrificon.
The host of Solid Gold?
The
Was
first
he on Solid Gold?
was he? I forgot about
I
that.
believe he was. I believe he was.
Yeah, the first on-screen level. Yes.
That's right.
Street Hawk, the poor man's Knight Rider on a motorcycle.
Exactly. True. Very true.
Whatever. He's coming. But no, that's why I don't have James Darren this year because
Better hurry.
Well,
He ain't
Better.
young anymore.
hurry.
What? Jimmy, we want you to do it. What?
I still got Bernie Capel calling me.
Dude, you
93,
know I am so for
93.
Bernie coming. Because, dude, even he's got his nerd hero connection. He was Alan Adale in that Robin Hood Mel Brooks show when things were rotten.
You
And
know who
basically, he was on
And
the Star
Siegfried.
Trek of the high seas. Basically,
It was. He was the Dr. McCoy. He was
Yeah.
putting his ship in every port up and down
He's-
the
He was,
Pacific Ocean.
he was in that
Doc
next
Bricka.
generation. He was in that next generation SNL sketch
That's right.
With Patrick
right.
Stewart as
Yes.
Doc.
Yeah, that's right.
It was
Oh, boy.
fantastic. And also, again, he was Siegfried. He's the bad guy.
I know, from Chaos. Once you go
Come
Bricker, you never go back.
And
I'll
that's
put
why
some
it's like,
lotion
again,
on you.
I say do it. I think he's a bargain, and I think a ton of grandmothers that will bring people to Terrificon will be very happy to meet Doc.
You know what?
The moms will too.
Since I got the Orville people, I wanted to get Isaac, but unfortunately, I don't get the robot. I get this guy.
The guy was in a million TV shows.
Ted Lange. Anybody want a drink?
Exactly, Ted Lange.
Were you on the Orville? No.
I never understood if he's the bartender.
Why is
he the only bartender? Because they had him on the Lido deck, and then he was in the wait, he's just everywhere.
No,
every bar
then when they had the Love Boat, the next wave,
he's
Garrett
like the Whoopi Goldberg.
No, Garrett Morris's son,
Philip.
Yeah, he became the new bartender.
The new Isaac.
The new Isaac. Yeah. But he was also Jackie Childs, and wasn't he in Star Trek?
Yes, a couple times. He's in Star Trek 3. He's one of the cadets that at the beginning of the movie is like, will they honor us?
That's him?
Oh, you want a hero's welcome, do you, mister?
Yeah.
And then he's in Voyager, and it's a flashback of a 21st century astronaut. It's called One Small Step. And he left his log, and Seven and Janeway are like reading his log and stuff.
I didn't know that was him.
He left his log. He was the plumber on the
captain's log.
It was waiting for us in 10 forwards head. Yes.
The piano tutor's better clean that out.
Who dropped a deuce in the can and didn't flush? Don't tell Guinan it was me.
Speaking of humorous, you know how they had Spaceballs?
Yes.
If Mel Brooks was still active and stuff, do you think if he made a Star Trek parody, would it be closer to Lower Decks or something totally
I think
funny?
It'd be closer to Men in Tights.
Men in Tights,
Yeah, Klingons. There'd be a lot of bathroom jokes about Klingons and Uranus and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, Langley agrees that Phil Morris has done multiple Trek roles. He's great. I agree. Got to interview him at New York Comic Con, literally running into him, and thank God I had a video crew with me. And I'm like, Philip Morris, and he's like, yes. And I'm like, hey, you're awesome. Talk to me. He's like, I'm happy to. And he was doing Smallville, and he was Martian Manhunter.
That's right. Invited to Terrificon this year, but turned me down.
Oh, that's too bad. He's amazing. Great act. Really, he either had finished Black Dynamite, the movie, or was in it, or
that's
was
right.
Up.
He was the military guy.
Right.
Yeah,
he's like
the
the
Malcolm X character.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, like a Black Panther kind of
militant.
character. But not the T'Challa Black Panther, the 60s.
No, the
radical
60s.
movement Black Panthers. Yes.
Yeah.
Back to Star Trek. Oh, I was going to read you that article. Where the hell is it? This Fox thing. Star Trek writers take Starship Enterprise where it's never gone before. World politics. Sorry.
The hell was that?
That was a ridiculous video that had to pop up and play. To be fair, since the original 60s, Star Trek has always delved into cultural and societal issues. It's always been credited with diverse casts, with tackling issues like saving the whales and reflecting American and global foreign policy. All that should live long and prosper. But these two recent incidents go a good deal further, and he means the Stacey Abrams thing, and I forget what the other one was. But essentially,
the insurrection.
Oh, that's right. Yes, the January 6th insurrection.
That's right.
Yes, indeed. And ultimately, the problem here is this kind of political signaling is alienating for those fans who are not part of the Democratic Party political tribe. As a fan myself, it hasn't made me turn the shows off, but it's jarring and also breaks the narrative spell of fantasy and science fiction, which is why people tune in the first place. It feels much like the writers and the creators of the new line of Star Trek shows, which also includes Picard, don't just think writing a good TV show is important enough work. Like so much of corporate America, they think, and this is where he goes into politics, they think they have to save the country and the planet while they do it. Leave the planet saving for the fictional Starship Enterprise. Whatever. Again, I kind of agree in terms of, again, why would you piss off a potential half of your audience? And that's, good Lord, there's a guy on Twitter today who's like, well, if it wasn't for the success of Discovery, we wouldn't have all these great shows. And I'm like, no, sorry, no, wrong, very wrong. I'm like, Paramount understands the value of the Star Trek franchise and we are in a post-Marvel world that you don't wait 5 years to remake, to retool something. You jump on it now. And if you can, you give us, I mean, thank God Star Wars kind of figured it out a bit with the movies that, all right, maybe one movie a year is too much overkill. Let's take a step back. But they're still pumping out all the TV shows and the animated shows and stuff. And it's like, no, that was Paramount's intent, was to build another Marvel or Star Wars with Star Trek. And why not? I'm surprised we don't have a weekly Mission Impossible show.
That's what I was going to say. We already had this conversation. We're like, what other tent poles do they have? And we're like, Mission Impossible,
iCarly,
Cheers, iCarly,
Bar Rescue, John
Bar
Tavern.
Rescue.
I want animated Bar
Young
Rescue.
Indiana Jones again.
Speaking of which, I don't know if it's going on Paramount or not. I don't think so, because it was owned by Fox, but it might be Disney. But they're doing an animated Married with Children. And the entire cast is coming back as the voices. So there you go. Nope.
I never watched it.
Fine. Whatever.
No, I'm just saying, just like,
I get it.
obscure
It's cool.
TV shows, it's like, like, who would have thought that would be the one that they're going to bring back?
You're right, because it ran like over 10 seasons. It ran like 11 seasons or something.
Did it really?
Well, I know Ed O'Neill was very annoyed because they were going to cancel, or, they were going to end the show, and he wanted to do a proper end episode or movie, and Fox said no, and he was pissed. And I think they called him back. This is fuzzy in my memory, but I think they called him back and they wanted to do it, and he's like, "No, screw you, it's too late." And that's when he went on to not Married with Children, Modern Family.
Modern Family. Yeah.
Did not. No, I hear you, man. Oh, that's right. Langley's right. He remembers when Morris was on the '80s Mission Impossible show.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Barney's son, as Greg
Morris'
son. Absolutely.
Who was the lead on that? Was that
it was Peter Graves? They brought Peter Graves.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I never liked that they made Peter Graves the bad guy. Well, not Peter Graves, but Mr. Phelps the bad guy.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Mission Impossible 1.
Yeah.
John Voight. It was John Voight. He was a bad guy. I was like, what?
Spoiler. I was going to watch that this weekend. Come on.
No, Wayne says 11 seasons of Married with Children.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
We's not sure if I 100% agree. I think Hollywood thinks everyone thinks like them. I think same way with politics around the DC area, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. Like I said, I just think you want the biggest audience possible. Why piss these people off? But
well, here's an example. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. You know the angel that was Melvin Belli back in the original show?
Yeah.
That was significant to the people at that time.
But he wasn't he was a
publicity. He was like F. Lee Bailey. Yeah, but I remember asking my mom, "Who's that guy?" And she goes, "Oh, that's Melvin Belli." I was like 8 years old. You don't know when you're a kid. You're like, okay, he's a big fat guy with a white hair. I don't think anybody knows who he is now.
No, I understand, but it's also literally one of the shittiest original series.
It was, yeah. No, but I'm just saying, there's been some other people. Wasn't Hawkins on the original Next Gen?
Yeah, but he's not political.
But he's a famous person that kind of came into the show.
But that's my point, Mitch. Famous people are one thing. Active political people, I think, is a bridge too far. Mae Jemison being on Next Generation as a real astronaut and as a Starfleet crew member, that's fantastic. That's excellent. That's a great tribute. Stephen Hawking as a brilliant scientist conversing with Data. That's excellent.
What do you think about Patrick Leahy from Vermont being in all the Batman movies?
He's a huge Batman fan.
Yeah, but he's also
was he in?
But he wasn't a political.
No, he was an active politician during.
Who was he in the Batman movies?
He always pops up in The Dark Knight. He's at the wedding party when the Joker comes in with the knife, and he's like, "We won't put up with this," and he goes right up to him with the knife. Heath Ledger, who actually died 15 years ago today, but
oh wow,
he puts the knife in his thing, and he's also in the other one there with the George Clooney. He's in that one because Patrick Leahy's a big Batman fan in real life, and he's also done a lot of
Isn't he currently the oldest serving member right now? I think.
Yeah.
In the body. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
I totally forgot that he was in it.
Yeah, but that's somebody that's like, but
wasn't he playing himself?
No.
No, he wasn't. He was. It was. Well, you think about it, Fred Thompson and everything he appeared in.
Fred Thompson's a real actor and wasn't Once he was a senator, he stopped acting.
Did he?
I'm reasonably certain. Maybe
I
again, I was
think he
listening
was
to
doing
it
both
on
at the same time.
January 9th.
No,
so
another one was what's his name? Stuart Smalley. I can't think of his name.
Al
Al
Franken.
Franken.
Al Franken. Now, when he was
Well, he wasn't acting, but he was
was
when
not
he was
acting when he was in
never
office.
okay.
He
Fred
was
Thompson,
not
I
acting.
think, was. I think like on breaks and stuff like that. I think he was picking up movies and
I'm
stuff like that.
gonna
Has there been other active politicians that step aside and do TV cameos and fiction and all that stuff?
Well, I mean, those again.
Yeah.
What you're
Cheers!
doing-
Everybody on Cheers with Speaker of the House, Tip O'Neill.
Oh, that's
was on-
right,
was
Tip
on
O'Neill
Cheers and stuff
yeah.
like that. Hmm.
But
well, he was
I don't
from 94 to 2003, Fred Thompson, and now I want to see his IMDb.
Oh, he was definitely acting while he was
in
still
movies.
a senator.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but I'm just saying.
Well, Red October was before.
That was in
94.
that was 89, 90.
Yeah. Here, let's find out. Let's take a
No,
look.
but I'm saying I don't think they show up on these shows with a political agenda. I think they show up because they're fans of
Of course they do.
whatever it is. So I
Well,
think
the
they
same
leave,
argument could be made for Stacey Abrams.
well, I was
then.
going to say I think they leave the politics at the door and they go, "Hey, I just want to be here. I just don't want to. I'm not here to have people vote for me."
I think Johnny, you're hung up on that because they made her the president, and she was, she's an active politician. I think that's what you're picking up on.
Yes.
But look at it
She's
from the
running for
standpoint of
office.
but look at it from the standpoint of she's an actor and she's a fan of the show and she's
Not an
well known.
She's not an actor.
She is if she's hired to be on the show.
No, I'm sorry. Especially if
is.
you watch that performance, she is not an actor.
There's
sorry.
some people on Star Trek I don't think are actors too, but
Well,
they get a
again, she's
paycheck.
going to snark, but the reality is no. She was, and again, I understand why they wanted to do it, and they wanted to honor her, and they feel very honored that she is a Star Trek fan. I get all that, but I don't think it's the right choice. And again, she's an active politician. Good Lord, I remember when Reagan was running back in the 80s,
Yeah.
and again, this is of the time of the Fairness Doctrine. They stopped showing Reagan movies when he was campaigning on the
That's
national
true.
level. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, yeah, because that we don't want an unfair advantage. And again, I just think it's more about why would you thumb your nose to potentially, if not half, very close to half of your audience, having such a polarizing person on your show. But again, that's me. What do I know?
It is you, because I have a confession to make. When I was watching the episode, I didn't know who it was until you started sending me texts about it, and I go, "What happened?" You're like, "The woman that played the president from Earth." I go, "Oh, what about her? Don't you know who that
she was
is?"
horrible, and she wasn't a great actress. It wasn't like,
I just watched the show.
No, I didn't say she
notice
was a
it.
great actress. I said technically she was an actress because she got paid. She get to be on there. So there you go.
Yeah.
Don't
okay.
plan. All right. There's other. hills to
Anyway,
put your
yeah, and
flag
I swear
over.
I don't want to bring it up anymore. I apologize for people who are sick of me bringing it up. It's my fault. No, I'm the one bringing it up.
It's your
But no,
show.
I did think there were parts, and I'm shocked because I'm certainly not a Fox News fan, but I did agree with some of the points the guy was making in that article. That's all I can say. And it shocks me because I consider myself a classic liberal
Yeah.
and would like to be on that side of the discussion. But again, I just kind of feel like, well, Star Trek was always for everybody. And I
It
kind of
still
feel like it
is.
isn't anymore.
Oh, I don't think so. I
But
think it's
that
for
said,
everybody.
Strange New Worlds, big improvement than what we got.
You don't want to fall into the comic book thing too. When there's people like, only these books can be read by red-blooded Americans. I'm like, what are you fucking talking
That's
about?
my
It's a book.
point is
Yeah.
make a program that everybody likes. That's my point. Don't go, well, I'm sorry, we're going to go here. And again, you can still have, and I want the diversity and I want the inclusion, but that's just step one. You got to give us more than just, look, we have a trans person on the show. Look, we have a non-binary person on the show. We have a gay couple on the show. There's going to be more gay people coming in Strange New Worlds. Fantastic. Give us more than just that. Ortega's has already shown us a lot more about her character in these 2 episodes than just being whatever sexual preference she is. Again, I point to the duo of Discovery of Gray and Adira. It's great that they're there, but you got to kind of give them more to do, and especially in the case of Gray, where it's like, all right, other than being Adira's partner, what do they represent, or what do they bring to the equation? And talking down the suddenly sentient computer wasn't enough for me. But whatever. Again, I appreciate Langley's like, you're fine, John. I get your argument completely. He doesn't see it that way, and that's cool. That's fine.
Yeah. I just watched the show
It's
to
a
watch
discussion. That's all.
I just watched things to blow up and little furry tribbles and Vulcans and
Right.
I
Well,
I swear some people could read War and Peace and think it's an adventure novel, and other people could read War and Peace and think it's the greatest story about
Great
the Western
literature.
civilization.
Yeah.
No, that was from MASH. That was a show that was a comedy, but then it became a serious drama. It depends on if you like the early years.
Where's the
with
clinger of
Trapper.
Star Trek? That's what I want to know. Hey, captains, don't worry about a thing.
It's going to be the Andorian guy. That's him. I can tell.
I can't wait. He's going to be worshiping the Andorian mud hens. Yeah. Anybody want some Tony's Pacos?
No, I'm looking forward to learning more about Hemming. I think that's a great character, and I think it's an interesting character, and it's good to see more aliens. And I also loved the aliens we got in the Comet episode.
I liked how the new alien race could have blown the shit out of the Enterprise in a second, and Pike didn't give a fuck. He went right to it. He said, "Hey, we got some people on there. We're going to rescue their asses and bring them. If you do that, it's going to be an act of war." Hey, Fugats, okay? Look at my hair. You think I give a shit? I'm going to die in 10 years. And it happens today. I know I'm not going to die because I know I'm going to die in 10 years. So in a weird way, he's bulletproof. He almost is the man without fear because he knows what's going to happen. And he knows this is not how I die today.
But I like that. I like that bravado.
No, but but nobody understands. They're like, wow,
Barclay.
that guy's got balls. He's
George says Barclay is the clinger of Star Trek. Which
he's gonna go up to like number one. Hey, you and me want to go right now? I don't think so. Well, why not? I got 9 more years, 3 weeks, 2 days, and 10 hours. I got nothing to lose.
I don't see how that is a story positive.
That's what I'm saying. Eventually, you're going to be like, I get it. You got a couple more years, then you're going to die. He's going to become reckless. He's just going to go. Maybe that's the storyline. That Pike goes fucking off the, starts cowboy diplomacy up the yin yang. You know.
That's why
maybe
I was very,
shit.
Yeah, I've said this before. I'm very leery about bringing up old characters in a new series. Like, we know what happens to Pike. We know what happens to these guys. But in this particular instance, I'm a little bit intrigued. I want to see what happens. I want to see like what if you can go guns blazing into every episode, and Spock can be like, "Yo, Pike, what the fuck are you doing?"
Wait. Do you think it was a mistake from a story point of view to show him what's going to happen to his life?
I do.
So early on.
Yes. I think why can't we just have a brand new Star Trek not Discovery?
Now that I say this, I know for a fact they did not have plans for a Captain Pike show a couple years ago. It's bullshit because why would they have written that episode where he sees the crystals and looks into the future and say, "No, we're going to go"? Well, it kind of sets themselves up already. Like,
no, it doesn't.
We already know what this
it doesn't. Again, that's the destination metaphorically. Yeah. He ends up there. We got 10 years of journey to get to that point. So there's tons of story to tell about Captain Pike before that fate. So that's why you can still tell a Captain Pike show, even though you know that this future is waiting for him. Future is waiting for him.
He knows. That's what I'm saying. The problem
we also know. It doesn't, again, I agree with you. I don't think it's a good move that he knows. Right. I think it's dumb. Yes, but as far as when you said, well, that negates why would they have a Pike show? Of course they could still have a Pike show.
I'm saying when the producer said, "Oh, we always have this in the works," I go, I don't think you had it written out.
I disagree.
I don't see you would have never said the main hero knows he's going to die.
Again,
that's part of the storyline here. Yeah,
you could do a story about the career of George Custer and still end with Little Bighorn. And I understand you're saying, but he knows. Yeah. I agree with you. That's a mistake, but that doesn't negate the possibility of exploring Pike's career. We've had comic books and novels about Captain Pike while still knowing that end fate.
No, so there are tons of stories. They never wrote it into the character's development that he knows, oh, I'm going to die
Again,
in 3
you're
weeks,
dwelling too hard on that. I agree with you that that's a mistake, but it doesn't negate the existence of a Pike show or the thought of doing a Pike show. They just made the wrong choice of, hey, we're going to show him his own fate. And it's like, that's dumb, but okay.
Well, do you think it's going to bite them in the ass after a year or two when they go, we got nowhere to go with this?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
No, I don't. I first of all, you could go, let's say it's 5 years. You go 5 years with ever, exploring that, or you can wait till the final episode and maybe show him right leading up to that moment and suffering that fate. Who knows? But I would also point to Smallville and the way Smallville ended. Smallville ended before Superman really became Superman.
Right.
We had literally 10 years of fucking Smallville.
I know.
Stories. Well, we did. And again, we knew what was going to happen, but they gave us 10 years of stories before it actually finally happened.
Never watched it.
It's the journey.
You never saw Smallville?
Yeah, I watched the very first episode. Yeah, I watched the very first episode, and I read an article with the creators of the show saying that our Superman is never going to put on a cape.
Yeah, no
and I
capes.
said, I'm not watching the show. There's no reason for me to watch the show. And he put on the cape the very last episode, so I watched the first episode and the last episode.
The last 5 seconds he put it on,
And Langley, you're right. Although I think they have kind of, if not corrected it, explained it a little better. Didn't Pike live, though? He doesn't die from the accident. He's just in the wheelchair.
Right.
And yes, that's true. However, he said, I saw the end of my life, and then his follow-up line was, or at least the life I currently have. Words to that effect.
Yes.
So he may not, again, I don't know. I mean,
in that moment, Pike dies, he becomes a different Pike.
Right. Or a different person because of it. But also, I wish they would have kept it more just, I saw this image of myself. I don't know what it means. But obviously, at the end of the second episode, not only does he know the names of the people that he saved, he's now looking on the computer to try and find them and stuff and track them, I suppose, in some way. I don't know.
Send him a letter. Don't go to this training mission on this date. Why?
Are you Marty McFly? We've got a package for you.
Or again, you can do almost like season 2 of Picard, where maybe he does do something or sees himself, or you do a future episode where he doesn't go through with the mission and it changes everything. And shit, like I said, it's like It's a Wonderful Life, where it's like, okay, George, you've never been born. Now look at all the lives you affect because you weren't there. You want that to save those cadets, Captain Pike. If I
those paddles.
Yeah. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one.
Absolutely. Well, and that's,
No, but he finds out that maybe there's a huge cataclysmic event that if he doesn't do this or not like going back and saving Renee Picard, because if she doesn't go on the Europa mission, all of history will be changed because Q couldn't snap his fingers because none of it made fucking sense, and they got paid lots of money to write that shit.
If you want to laugh, watch Will Wheaton gush about season 2 of Picard.
Oh my god,
it's pretty funny. It's really funny.
They never really
enjoyed this shit sandwich.
They never explained why Q was ineffectual against Renee Picard. They never did. They said he couldn't
why was he messing with Renee Picard?
Why would he want to stop her? Because that would stop his friend Jean-Luc from ever happening in the future.
Made no sense. And again, that's why I love my friends who are like, actually, I really liked Picard. And I really thought the way that ended was touching.
Not when you start telling people. No. When they start to think about it, they don't like it.
No, it's all right. Oh, I agree. Everybody's been saying, again, if you really want to laugh, watch the Red Letter Media guys just rip apart Picard season 2.
Is that guy still around?
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're great. Oh, sure.
I thought
they're the guys that sadly kind of exposed. All right, what's going on with Bruce Willis? There's clearly something wrong with him.
Oh, seriously? They picked up on his acting?
Literally, like within a month of them releasing that episode, of them just really looking at these recent Bruce Willis movies, that's when the family is like, hey, he's suffering from dementia, blah, blah, blah. And
really?
And they even were like apologetic of like,
that's
we didn't know. And we kind of feel bad, but all we saw were bad movies by a good actor. What's going on?
Yeah, that's like whistling in a graveyard. Yeah, that's not nice.
Well, again, if you don't know,
you don't know.
Bad. Straczynski, J. Michael Straczynski, when he bailed on writing Wonder Woman and Superman during that period, he was concerned that he was going blind. And that was in his plan. I mean, he has since said that. And I'm like, all right, well, if I had known that, I certainly wouldn't have been as angry and as harsh of a critic as I was at the time, because I'm like, hey, man, you set up these very ambitious Wonder Woman and Superman stories and you bailed after like 3 issues. What the fuck? And how dare you? And also the DC kind of stuck with the plans and had to hand it to Phil Hester to write Wonder Woman and Chris Robertson to write Superman.
Well, you never know what's going on in someone else's life.
Lee says they ruined the board forever in season 2 of Picard. The
No,
more I
they
think
ruined
about
the-
it, I think
Well.
it's going to come to play in season 3 of Picard. We'll see.
I think they ruined the
Because-
Borg when they made Hugh all those years ago. They
well,
humanized him.
but it was one. It was one drone who was.
It was
disconnected
one
from-
drone, but when he came back and they showed the whole fucked up disarray thing that Picard, don't interfere with another civilization, you made the whole beehive go crazy because they were all like, I'm
Sure.
an individual now.
Yep.
I'm like, you just fucked up a whole race of aliens. That's okay.
Well, it was an
They
interesting
blamed it on
story.
lore. Well, yeah, it was interesting, but
I thought.
Man.
I like Descent. I thought Descent was a decent 2-part. Some
They-
people don't and agree with you, Mitch. Absolutely, a lot of people feel that way.
I didn't
Um,
like Hugh. I thought they made him too
I
much
just
of a
what I
wuss.
don't like is again all they do is they're fixated on the Borg and Next Gen's era, and it's like you could come up with something new.
Well, you
and
know what
that-
it is,
Well,
too?
Well, they kind of did. They
No.
came up with the Borg. That was new in Next Gen.
In
No, I
Next
mean
Gen,
in the
yeah.
Picard series. In the
Oh.
current
Oh,
Picard
yeah.
Oh,
series.
I see what you're saying.
Well,
They are
that's
just
like his
fixated
greatest.
with Picard and the Borg.
That's like his greatest enemy, though. That's like you got to have.
Yeah, but
Sherlock Holmes
how many
around.
times do we have to keep going back to the well? It's like Batman and Joker's stories. It's like
Oh, I agree with
You
you.
know.
That's ridiculous. It's like every time I go, there's other people besides the
Well, and
Joker
again,
and
it's
the
the man
Penguin
had a long-
and the Catwoman.
well, but Picard had a long career, and it's again, all they've done is really fixate on the Borg, and it's
Every
like,
X-Men
all right, both
movie's got
seasons, Borg.
Magneto. Yeah.
What?
Every X-Men movie had Magneto. I go, there's other people in those X-Men comics besides Magneto, but it is what it is.
Well, and Lanley says here that the Borg can be fixed. They run them with the Borg Queen. They are overusing them on Voyager, etc.
Yeah.
I actually liked the Borg Queen on Voyager because, first of all, it was good and positive. And again, I'd like to show that I do like and appreciate inclusion. You had a female hero facing a female enemy, and both were very powerful. And I liked Janeway and the Borg Queen. I also like Sevens. What do I do here? I mean, most of my life since I was 7, I've been a Borg drone and have the opportunity to rejoin. Yet, my human side's coming through, and I'm having conflicts. And it's like, no, that's good. That's interesting. I mean, I like the way the Borg. I mean, I understand they were used a lot on Voyager, but I think in a good way. The ones I thought they screwed up on were Species 8472 or whatever they were called. They were interesting. And then when they made them, they had the fake Starfleet Academy, and they had the sleeper agents learning how to be more like the humans and stuff, and Voyager infiltrated that. That was a good episode. Ray Walston. Always happy to see Ray Walston acting. Boothby.
I always hated the Kazon. I thought they were the worst. I never was
were-
like, is that their hair? Is that a bark, a tree? What the fuck is that? in that
Watered
head?
down Klingons. The
Oh
Kazon
my God,
were
so
dumber Klingons. Yeah.
Stupid. Yeah.
Look, all I know is that we're due for another good Star Trek series, okay? Because if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, Discovery, Lower Decks, Picard, Prodigy, and Strange New Worlds. We got
It's
one
like-
more good one coming.
It's like the even odd Star Trek movies. It's like even one's good, odd one's bad. So Discovery was the odd, and then the next one would have been the even, which was what? Lower Decks? No.
No.
I
There's
was
going to be
told
another
they
one
wrote
coming.
math today.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, you're right. Although I kind of disagree with that feeling that all odd numbered Trek movies suck, because I like 3. I think 3 is a good movie.
No, 3. Oh, well,
Marty! I mean,
2,
Kirk!
3, and 4 is like one movie. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's one story.
Yeah.
It's one story.
5 is horrible. 6 is okay.
I
Except
I
for
like
the
6.
kitchen.
Six
I
is
think
one of my
6 is good.
favorites.
I
Yeah.
think 6 is good because
When they sign off, that's the
well,
best
I mean,
part.
but they're finally kind of
Let's
coming
slip
to
the
terms.
dogs of war. Yeah.
Yeah. But they're all like Kirk and Spock are also coming to terms with their own old age and mortality.
Yeah.
And Spock gets disappointed by Belarus, and that's interesting. And I like that Kirk is like, no, fuck the Kling. I mean, God,
Yeah.
that's the best thing when he's like,
Let them
Jim,
die.
they're dying.
Let
Yeah,
them die.
let them
Yeah.
die.
Oh, I
I
love
don't
that.
care.
I love
It's
that
the best.
line.
We volunteered.
Yeah. Only Nixon can go to China.
And even
Hey, so
What-
Generations, yes or no then?
I don't
Parts
know.
of it are
Yeah,
okay,
I mean-
but overall it's a
Yeah.
piece of shit.
it's disappointing. It's too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, and also, good Lord, poor, and this is where I do have sympathy for the writers. Ron Moore and Brandon Braga, literally, it was like, okay, you just wrote all good things. All right, Star Trek movie, move, because we got to make it now. And it
Right.
like they really, and also their initial thought was, well, let's have both the original series cast and the next gen cast. And
Oh,
Paramount's like, no, that's too expensive.
oh,
And
really?
oh yeah, and Nimoy's like, I don't want to do that. The
Yeah.
reason we got Chekhov and Scotty was
Yeah, I
Nimoy
heard
and
that.
I think poor DeForest might have been too old.
He was
at
on his
that
way
point.
out. Yeah,
But Nimoy was like, no, this is a glorified cameo. I'm not doing this,
yeah.
especially the way it was written. And that's why, like, you know, Scotty and Chekhov are like, oh yeah, no problem, I'm here.
Did the check clear? Yes, I'll be like
Yeah.
that.
It's like you always said, you
What-
have to make the time.
Put the uniform on, suck the gut in. But no,
I mean-
okay, so Generation suck. First Contact, good, probably the best one
Yes.
out of them all.
Yes.
After that is Insurrection,
Yeah, not good.
and then not good. And then it's Nemesis,
Yes.
or am I
Nemesis.
forgetting one? That's it? Four?
No, that's it for next gen. Yeah. Four. Oh, you did First Contact.
Yeah,
Generations, First Contact, Insurrection, Nemesis. Just those four.
wow.
Yep.
Yeah, First Contact's it. Sorry. I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, no. If they're
Well-
on, I wouldn't watch it. That's how my barometer is. It's like, oh, First Contact, I'll watch that. Even Generations, I'll sit through some of it. The other two, oh God, no, I'm changing.
Insurrection would have made a great next gen hour-long episode. It's just too
yeah.
bloated. It's
Yeah.
just too bloated.
The
And
famous
again,
line
it's
in
not
that
very-
movie: "Are your breasts firmer?" Mine are. When they're doing the exercise,
Yeah,
Deanna
yeah.
Troy, I was like,
Oh yeah.
What happened?" I thought Riker said that. Personally,
Who was the stretchy face guy in that? Was it
Murray
Murray Abraham?
Murray
Right?
Abraham, yeah.
I was
And
gonna
Isn't,
say it was a
isn't he
waste
the
of an
voice
actor.
of
Moon
Isn't he
Knight,
the voice of Khonshu on Moon Knight?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. And then Anthony Zerbe was in that one too, as the
Yes,
Admiral.
who's the Admiral? Dougherty out.
He's in everything.
Yeah, he's always a good bad guy.
Oh,
I was watching a 70s TV movie and he was the bad guy in that. It was an Ellery Queen movie with Peter Lawford.
Oh yeah, he had those great
And then he was the
eyebrows.
bad guy, Anthony
Yeah.
Zerbe.
Hey, you know who was also in that movie? Tom Hardy, and he sucked as Trazon. What was the
Kazan? Kazan?
No, he was a
Shinzon.
weird
Shinzon.
Shinzon.
Yes.
Well, all right, you're talking about Nemesis, obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And,
he was a very thin
Jean-Luc.
Tom Hardy then
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a
Before
kid.
he got buff.
And then
yeah,
and then he
right.
was Bane, and he was like he's a guy I'd never recognize when he's on
Right.
until his recent movies, I guess.
Now he's Venom.
Yeah, Weez is right. There are deleted scenes of Nemesis, and if you hear Stuart Baird, the director's commentary, it all he does is expose the fact that he shouldn't have been a Star Trek director. He's like, see, we
that's
didn't
great.
need this scene, and I really believe it was more his goal to make a 100-minute movie than make a coherent story, because this is still back in the 90s and it was the early 2000s.
It
But
was.
the thought process was a 100-minute movie is perfect for a 2-hour network commercial block or a cable commercial block, because that allows you for a 2-hour block to put in a 100-minute movie, and with little trims, you can still show like pretty much the entire movie. But
Yeah.
again, you watch those deleted scenes from Nemesis and the stuff they left out. The best was the final joke that Riker plays on Picard, where he's got the new first officer who was the Mako, one of the Makos, Major, and I forget his character's name on Enterprise, but his first appearance was in Nemesis, and he was the new first officer. And Riker in the deleted scene says, "Hey, Picard's not big on formalities. Feel free to call him Jean-Luc."
Yeah.
And he gives him a bunch of orders. He goes, "Very well, Jean-Luc." And Picard turns around and gives him a dirty look, like, "Captain, I'm sorry, Captain, sir." Yeah. And it's like shitting his pants because Riker, made this joke on him. It was great. So, but of course we didn't need that scene. Stuart Baird, excellent editor, edited The Fugitive, edited a ton of great and saved a lot of great Paramount movies. Lousy director, very lousy director. Didn't want to do stuff.
Was that his first directing job?
It was one of them. I know he did U.S. Marshals too. He did The Fugitive.
Okay.
Tell you what, Slick.
We'll ask Joe Pantoliano, who's also coming to Terrificon on July 29th to the 31st.
I was going to say, I'm glad you brought it back up again, Mitch, because I meant to ask you earlier. Give those dates once again. July 29th.
July 29th to July 31st at the Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut. Tickets on sale.
Who else you got coming?
A guy named John Suntress will be there. Another guy named Franco will be there. And I'll be there. And you'll be there. And we'll all be there.
You'll get a car, and you'll get a car.
You'll get a car.
Nobody's
Everybody
getting a
gets a car. Everybody
Nobody's
gets a medal. Look, this is Chewbacca's medal. I ripped it off his furry dead ass. You can have it. Come on down to Crazy Mitch's. Our prices are insane. You want to watch shitty movies? Watch Blade Runner 2049 right here.
Who's
That's
the
actually-
Todd father? Louise wants to know. Oh, is that?
Todd McFarlane?
is Todd coming?
I do not have tens of thousands of dollars. Sorry.
A little pricey.
A little pricey for my taste.
Absolutely. Hey, Weeze only lives 25 minutes from Mohegan. Well, I hope you'll come by.
That's closer than I do. Maybe you can give me a ride. I'll pick you up on the way. Look, you know who won't be there? Lou Ferrigno won't be there.
Aw.
I still have nightmares about him texting me all night. Mitch, it's Lou. I want a turkey sandwich on whole wheat. Why am I sounding like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I don't know.
See the picture of this kid? Yeah.
I did.
He's a fat kid, right? Yeah. You know whose son that is? No, that's Arnold's son. I'm like,
No, actually, did you see the more buff recent picture of him that he's like following Dad's footsteps? He looked good.
No, I was in the back of a limousine with him, and he was showing me a picture of a little kid. I was getting nervous.
Oh, yeah. No. When he was a kid, absolutely. He had baby fat. But no, he totally looks like 70s Arnold. It's pretty wild.
That's the kid he had with the maid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yakata. I hope you don't mind, Maria. I'm going to take up the 10 forward and do a little plowing.
I
All
don't
right.
know. The kid looks just like me, with the teeth and everything.
Yakata. Well, again, God bless him.
Look, I'm going to open up my Darth
The governor.
Vader case and pull out my action figures pretty soon.
Stand back. Mitch is pulling
Time to
out his
end the
action
show.
figure.
Time to end the show.
Jesus.
I
Whoa.
did what?
That's how what's his face from Mego?
Marty Abrams?
Marty Abrams. That's Marty Abrams in bed. Hang on.
Do you know how much money? Do you know how much money he made off of Star Trek? For like nothing? He paid thousands of dollars for the license. They made like $100 million.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I know. I know.
God.
No, I those Migos were great.
They were. Oh, wow.
Yakata.
He also made an Amigo line of the Love Boat figures. Those did not sell well.
I would like to get a Bernie Coppell Migo. So that
I will get you one. Probably for
please.
$1. Yeah. All right.
Doc.
Anyway, that's it. What other Star Trek stuff's happening this week, Johnny?
That's all I had, man. Again, we're looking forward to Thursday.
Hallmark's got all their
new
new Star Trek ornaments out. I saw that today when I was at the
Oh, really? What did you see what they were?
I have the catalog. It's upstairs. I just picked
All
it
right,
up.
don't worry.
But,
We'll talk about it next time.
but they don't have any Pike stuff.
Well, it's early.
They will.
It's early. What do you want me to have? Pike in the chair? Merry Christmas. Good Lord. I
It
have
lights up. Beep.
I'm going
Have a
to
good
die in
Christmas.
10 years.
And it lights up.
It lights up.
Is it a nice Christmas?
Red,
Beep,
red,
beep.
red, and,
Oh, there
red
was a
and
no.
green. Red and green. Beep, beep.
Yeah, they do red and green.
Yeah, exactly.
I have, and I'm so glad I bought it when it was brand new and it was still reasonably priced, and now it is kind of worth more than it was.
The
when it
Enterprise ornament?
No, the Death of Spock ornament,
Mm-hmm.
which cracks me up that I'm like, okay, you can do a ton of cool moments from the show, and yes, it's an iconic moment, but really, and again, just like Easter, Spock died for our sins and was resurrected.
What, they did the plexiglass thing where they're on both sides?
It's not. It's like an arch.
Yeah.
And they are like facing each other, so there's not a plexiglass between them.
Yeah.
But if you play it, it plays the dialogue.
Oh,
and it starts with ship out of danger.
And
it's
says the holidays.
but it doesn't have any of the
Nothing
music.
says
It's just their
Christmas
dry
like
dialogue.
I have the old shuttlecraft where it's like Happy Holidays. Nothing says Christmas than a Jewish Vulcan from Boston. Yeah. Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas.
Come on, I love Leonard
Christian.
Nimoy. He's
I'm
awesome.
I'm not even from Earth, but I'm wishing you Christmas.
Old Star Trek novel that I would easily recommend. Time travel story. It's called Ishmael, and it explores the Grayson side of Spock's parentage. So it's Amanda's side of the family, and because Mark Leonard, in addition to playing Sarek, in the late '60s, early '70s, he was on a show that lasted only 2 seasons called "Here Come the Brides."
Yes,
it was set in Oregon during the Great Western Expansion, and it essentially has Spock in Oregon, meeting the characters from Here Come the Brides and living as a it's like Data doing Time Zero when he's in San Francisco and stuff. And it's a great story. It's a fantastic, and they call him Ishmael. Call me Ishmael.
Did you ever hear? I have the album here. The Blue Star. It was a Star Trek record album. It looks like blueprints on the front, and it's interviews with Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah.
And Mark Leonard's on it. And then there's a whole thing about Roddenberry talks about Spock being in the womb. It was really weird because I was like a kid at 8 years old listening to this, going, I don't know if I should be listening to this stuff because it sounds like sex ed stuff. But it's all Roddenberry explaining about how Spock came to consciousness inside of his mom, and it's very heady.
It's on YouTube. You can find the audio on YouTube.
Is it?
Oh yeah,
all right.
It's called Inside Star Trek, and it has Sarek is Mark Leonard is in character,
yes,
talking to Roddenberry as Sarek, and also DeForest Kelly's on there, Shatner's on there.
Mm-hmm.
They have audio of Roddenberry at a Star Trek convention pontificating. It's great. It's great.
Yeah. No. Okay. I remember that. It's like 50 years ago or more, that thing.
Oh yeah. It's by the way, this year's the 40th anniversary of Khan, the movie.
Yeah. No, it's just like blow us out.
Well, he says, yeah, he's got the Wrath of Khan bridge ornament. Nothing says Merry Christmas like Khan threatening to blow us out of the stars.
That's right.
Well, they have those limited edition Christmas wreaths every year.
Yeah.
The Khan ones.
What is that?
The Wreath of Khan.
Oh, the Wreath of Khan. Right? Do you guys know? All right. And in fact, like
nobody caught that. I'm like, wait,
that's good. I like that. Well, that's like they have, they have Star Trek Day and they have First Contact Day and stuff. And of course, May the 4th for Star Wars,
right?
With the granddaddy. But do you know what they have for Babylon 5? I don't know if you guys are Babylon 5 people.
I watched every episode. Shadow War. What would it be? Oh, the date where they went back, Valerian went back in time?
No, it's February the 14th for Valentine's Day. They call it Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Because Valen is who Jeffrey Sinclair becomes.
Yes.
Sorry, spoiler.
That's a sad story, that guy.
Oh, dude, I talked to Straczynski about that.
Oh, no, but when he was at Terrificon, I asked him, but he used to come to Connecticut because one of the comic shop guys knew the actor, Michael O'Hare.
Yeah, Michael O'Hare. Yeah.
Oh, that poor guy. He didn't suffer from, it was dementia, but it was like a weird paranoid sickness where he thought like people were coming after him.
He would read the newspaper and say there are secret messages to me in the newspaper.
Yeah, it was really sad.
Really sad.
He died young too, but they were telling me how he came to do a signing at one of the comic shops, and
there's only
not happy.
There's only Bruce Boxleitner and Ivanova are like the only two original cast members that are still alive.
I know, everybody died from that show.
They all died young. It was sad.
Yeah, the doctor, I met him at a convention. He died of a heart attack like the week later, and then Sinclair. Oh, and the bald guy that played Garibaldi. Yeah.
And Peter Jurassic is dead. Londo and of course
the one
Commander Tomalak from Star
Trek. Flounder's dead.
Flounder's dead. Too. Absolutely. Yeah.
Babylon 5's
cursed, and I guess Tracy Scoggins is still alive too.
And Bobby Wheeler, he was
dead too. Yeah.
Wow,
no, it sucks, man. Yeah, no, it's
you know what we sound like? Uhura at the Christmas party. We're talking about how everything's in.
But the difference is we've known each other for years. This isn't our first conversation about. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I like Babylon 5, but everybody's dead. Wah, wah.
Well, there you go, kids. All right, we've obviously exhausted the subject. If we're already on Valentine, if we're on Valentine's,
we've beaten this horse. Yeah.
Do you say horse or whore?
Yes.
We beat this whore. Yes.
That's what I thought he said. I'm like,
not beating a dead whore.
What?
Anyway.
Thank you and good night.
Yes. Everybody, thanks a lot. Great questions, great attention, nice size audience. Really glad you could join us tonight. And join us next week for another edition of All Yeah Trek Watch. Until then, live long, prosper, read your rules of acquisition. Take it easy.
Beep.